So can you tell us something about your garden?
Well, we ate some broccoli.
You ate some broccoli?
Yeah.
Tell me when you're on here. This is a solar, let me start over. This is a white roof or a cool roof. It's actually made by Supertherm, which it's a 4 ceramic white roof. It essentially reflects 95% of all 3 forms of light. And I have a an exhaust system on the roof that goes that evacuates the heat at 110 degrees. It's never turned on since we've done the white roof. Because the heat is repelled, it never turns on again. Sorry, I'm getting nervous for some silly reason. All right, all the things I have here on the house can be seen at njrenewableenergy.com. I have solar thermal, solar PV, geothermal, a white roof, and LED lighting.
I'm Carly Fisher Maltese. Welcome. We're at 530 Village Road West. This is our garden. Do you want me to give you a tour? Okay, so over here we have flowers, different kinds of cutting flowers and vegetables. Just zinnias and celosia for making bouquets. And marigolds to try to keep out the insects. We have a couple different kinds of beans, bush beans and pole beans. The pole beans are kind of just starting, so they're going to grow up this trellis. Some different varieties of tomatoes, lots of cherry tomatoes this year because my 2-year-old loves to eat them. And a little bit of strawberry, some basil.
It's a nicely landscaped perimeter of a yard here.
These are cherry tomatoes. In the corner there's some
very lushly planted, and it's blooming very nicely right now. I particularly like the Althea border on the back there, the Rose of Sharon.
There's a hummingbirds in here.
This is the most incredibly neat vegetable garden I've ever seen. How do you keep it looking so very perfect?
Well, I have a 12-year-old son who helps me with the weeding. When we first moved in, it was an open area, and I put in the boxes just so it would be neater and easier to move about in it and maintain it.
And how long have you been growing the vegetables here?
5 years.
So you've got peppers and tomatoes and corn and broccoli.
And cucumbers and eggplants and lots of basil. I make pesto and freeze it and give it away.
Butterfly. Sorry. And we were touring around, as you know, and we're going through sort of I wouldn't say alpine, but it was
Hi, I'm Renata Adamska. I live at 413 Village Road East in Princeton Junction. We've been in this house over 10 years, and 2 years ago we started the garden project. It happened when our barn that was seated in the middle of our backyard was demolished, so we had the opportunity to redo the garden. We wanted something low maintenance and friendly place for kids to play. Our designer, Ronnie Hawk, designed the garden for us. We also asked Heidi Kleiman to design the barn. It's a replacement of the old barn. and we wanted to maintain everything in the same character as our over 100 years old house.
Okay, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting
Bye.
you. Bye.
I'm Judy Schilling, coordinator for the Dutch Neck School Community Garden, and this is our school garden maintained by the K through 3rd grade students at Dutch Neck School and also the families of the Dutch Neck students. Some curriculum tie-ins, and children study insects out here. This year we released butterflies, praying mantis, and ladybugs to the garden.
I'm at the Dutch Neck, and I have a friend named Bonnie, we are mother in Dutch Neck School, and I planted carrots.
And what else?
Tomatoes.
And anything else?
So when I moved in, there was nothing here. There was the previous owners years ago had a pool, and the pool cracked and it caved in. They took the concrete and they filled it with really crappy soil, and that's why in the book you can see pictures where just weeds wouldn't even grow. And so we had to create a design that was mostly hard surface space, and then we could bring in some soil around the edges.
These are Chinese eggplants, and you can see them. A lot of them growing in the bottom. These are regular long green peppers, so you can see the peppers already growing over here. And a lot of them. This is the first generation one that I built. So what it has is 2 buckets, and I took an old appliance wrapper that we got. So we did that because it raises the height of the bucket. Otherwise, the bucket would sit
all the way down.
Right. But now it kind of sits up. And you see in the bottom, we have holes here.
Do you put those holes in?
Yeah, we put those holes in. They are a 1/4 inch holes or 3 by 8 inch holes. And you can see that it's perfectly moist.
But
you can never.
Is it just through the evaporation? So
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing
it's a capillary reaction. It just sucks the water up.
Wait, where's the capillary? Wait.
See, this acts like a wick and sucks the water up into the top. And
so these are the zucchinis that we harvested a couple of days back. And I believe the moment you start harvesting, you get a lot more. And so I guess we're going to have to stop going to the farmer's market. This is... potatoes are very easy to grow.
You can basically just take kitchen scraps, those potatoes that you're not able to incorporate into meals anymore, and chop them up into pieces and just put them right into the ground. Very easy, just bury them, very little maintenance, and 5 or 6 potatoes cut up and strategically buried into the ground can yield 40, 50 potatoes at the end of a season.